Okay, everyone, you've arrived at the last chapter in the book, chapter 10, and we're going to start by talking about slash chords. So slash chords are really common in pop music and lead sheets. It's a way of dictating what the bass line should be, generally speaking, especially because generally the chords are for the left hand. I'm showing them in both hands here just so you know it could happen in the right, but it's generally for left hand. So C in root position in the first measure is like this. And if you see C/E, that is pop music's shorthand for a first inversion, a 6 chord, C6/3. So it's telling you play a C chord but play an E in the bass. So for pianists, the easy way to think of it is for your left hand, just put your pinky on the second letter. So find an E, and then as time permits, even just the E is going to sound fine. But if you have time, then look at the first letter, C, and try to fill the chord in above that bass note. C/G would be G, and then fill in a C chord above it, and you get a C6/4 chord, a second inversion. So C/E and C/G for the right hand. I'm going to turn the page and we'll take a look at the top of the page. I don't want to give you all the answers, but here are a bunch of chords in different inversions, and you're going to go through. The first one is done for you, and figure out first what is the chord and what's the bass note. The first line is all treble clef, and the second line is in the bass. So the left hand one is a G chord with a B in the bass, so G/B. Why does pop music not use figure bass notation or just first inversion, second inversion? This is just a very quick, easy shorthand way. You don't have to worry about how the chord functions within a key, no Roman numerals. You just give the letter name of the chord, and then the second one is what is in the bass. So in a way, it's quite an ingenious way of cutting short, not having to know all the theory background, so you can just grab chords quickly without having to take 2 years of theory. Okay, so then the next thing in the middle of the page, I've given you the slash chord and you have to write it out. So we'll just do the first one is C/E. So play an E or write down an E, and then fill out a C chord above it. So that would be C first inversion, C with an E in the bass. And it's bass, you know, figurative bass, because we're in the treble. But okay, so and the left hand example is an F chord, so you can think of F, and then invert it till you get a C in the bass. So that would be C, F, A. So that is the idea for slash chords. So let's take a look at how slash chords are used and why they're used. Very often you'll find that they're dictating the bass line because the arranger of this tune or the composer has a particular sound in mind. And very often that sound is what is called a walking bass. So I wrote just a little short Santa Cruz tune here, Seacliff Beach, with the bass walking down. So see, we start on a C in root position, and now we have a B in the bass. So go to that and then build a G chord above it. So that would be first inversion G. And now we have an A in the bass, build an F chord above it. That gives you a first inversion F. And then just G, root position. Then I'm going back up to C, and notice it's just repeating. And if you want, I think a good way to do this is just to play the bass note, the second letter, and then fill in the chord, even on the one that doesn't have a slash chord. So try the left hand, and I'm going to fill in the right hand for you. Here we go, and notice that if you do the waltz bass in this example, or just a broken bass in any meter, it kind of buys you time. You see a slash chord, you can figure out the bass note first and then fill the chord. And let's say, oh my gosh, I can't figure out how to do a G chord above the B. You could just do the B and then the A, and maybe you're lucky and you get the F chord. You don't really, as long as you have the bass line, that's the most important part. So when you see slash chords, if you can't compute the chord quickly enough, just do the bass line. It's telling you what the bass line should be. So go ahead when you're ready and try playing along with that with both hands.